Good morning, affiliates, and welcome to our weekly affiliate training. I'm Audrey, and I'll be taking you through the facilitation of the training. So, most SMEs run their businesses using disconnected tools, and they'll have sales in one place, accounting in another, projects somewhere else. iExcelco solves this by giving the SMEs one connected operating system. And this is where you as an affiliate comes in. The benefit of you being an affiliate for iExcelco, you will be getting a 10% monthly commission on the customer subscription, as long as the customer remains subscribed. And in many cases, once a customer is subscribed, they'll stick to the system, and that's, we can say, a lifetime of 10% commission monthly. Another benefit of being an affiliate for iExcelco, you won't handle the onboarding. Our team will be doing the onboarding, and the operational burden of the system lies on our team. So yours is just to get the customer, introduce them to the system, and start earning right away. iExcelco is a business operating system built for SMEs. It enables the owners to have real-time visibility of the operations of their businesses, enables them to have clean reporting, enables them to be compliant with the regulation within the environments they are working in, and it replaces the many fragmented tools that many SMEs work with. And now I'm going to explain to you some of the modules that are available on our iExcelco system. We have our CRM module. These controls your sales pipeline, from your leads to your customers to your communication with your customers. Our accounting module, it controls your money. It helps you see the financial health of the business in real time, manages your customer balances, and enables you to have clean and compliant reporting. The projects module, it will help you control your delivery to your customers. It will enable you to plan your workflow, to assign tasks, and these will improve on delivery timeliness, and it will strengthen communication across all of your departments. Our ERP module is mainly for operations. It supports the structures and workflows of your business. And the result of having this module is a better coordination and fewer gaps among your teams, as it enables a smooth workflow. Your HRM, this will enable you to control your people, that's the staff in your team. It will help you with onboarding, training, and even allocation of tasks among your team members. Marketing, this will help you with your growth, the growth of your business. It helps with campaigns, with messaging, with communicating with your customers. These are just a few modules in our system, but we have many, many more modules in the iExcelco system. The product we are marketing is the Business Power Pack. In the Business Power Pack, it comes with several packages. It has two key modules, that is the accounting suite and the CRM. You can't function without the two, so these are the basic that come with the system. It will be integrated with your payment gateways, that is M-Pesa, PayPal, PayStack, PayFast, depending on the one that is more available or suitable for your business. The package also comes with professional branding. This is professional emails, and not the Gmails, but the emails that come with your business name as a domain. You will get a professional website that will be designed, developed, and hosted for you by our team. The package is also marketing ready. You have your emails, SMS, and even WhatsApp, business WhatsApp built into your system. Our competitive advantage as a Excelco. When it comes to ERP systems, we have, say, QuickBooks, which is good for accounting only. It won't support your other operations well. Zoho has multiple apps, but they are disconnected. They are not in one login. Odoo requires a very, very heavy setup. Excelco is simple and very easy to use. Sage will only do your traditional accounting, but with Excelco, it's built as one operating backbone and not stitched tools. So with Excelco, these are one unified platform with a very affordable pricing that will help you work well with the system, and it's simple and easy to use. At this point, I'll invite Fidel to take us through a practical demo of our accounting module so that you can be able to see the system in real time. Welcome, Fidel.
Thank you very much, Audrey. Thank you for the presentation. I would like to take us through our Excelco demo, and we're going to look at the accounting module for these purposes of our demo today. Accounting module forms the base of the business power pack. That means we are able to integrate business power pack from a holistic perspective where you can be able to see on the system. Once you log into Excelco, on your dashboard, on your left side of the menu, you'll be able to see the accounting view. You'll be able to see the accounting module. We'll be able to see the accounting module once you log into Excelco. So this is the accounting module, which has its own dashboard. From the accounting module dashboard, this is where you have a brief summary of all your financial undertakings, meaning you're able to see your bank accounts, you're able to see all your bank accounts in one place, you're able to see all the transactions, the invoice, the payments that you've done within the period, and in the various currencies that you have within the system. So if it is only one currency, you'll be able to see on only one currency. So you can be able to switch and see each currency. Will be able to see from the dashboard. The dashboard gives you the profit and loss at each and every point in time. You're able to see that from the dashboard, a brief of your expenses, and a graph or a pie chart representation of the same. That means you're able to see all that from that. Then, of course, we have a graphical presentation of the sales, how you've done in terms of mapping the accounts, the expenses that have been mapped within our general ledger. So that forms a key foundation of what we see on our dashboard. We can filter our dashboard depending on the period we want to see. We can say we want to see dashboard for last year, and then we have a graphical presentation in our dashboard of what we had the prior year, as you can see that. So we're able to filter within the last 30 days, all time we have, or we can do even on financial years, so financial year 25, 26, whichever way you want to see that. Looking at the accounting module, the core of the accounting module and the core of every system and of our Excelco is to ensure that your settings are set right. And this is the core of what we do to ensure that once a customer is onboarded, we'll be able to set their settings, we'll be able to set their accounting environment well, meaning we're able to set up their accounting operating period, set up their tax year, and then set up the period when we can close the books. So that once we close the books, anybody who wants to post in a close period, they will be able to get a notification. Under settings, we have banking rules, and these banking rules assist us in helping you manage your work manage your work promptly. That means there are those regular entries you have on your bank statement. There are those invoices you raise on a regular basis. We can create rules, and the rules will assist the system post for you the entries in the respective accounts. So we can talk about charges. Let's say you have levies that normally you pay every single month, and the narration on the bank statement is levies. So we can say we want to apply these transactions it's money out, and we can have a following and say any of that. So that means if you see money out and you see levies on it, which is a description, so the description contains, and we can say contains the word levies. That means from the bank statement, you see the word levies, the full amount. That means when you see money out and it's in regards to levies, the full amount, we can say we want it to go under utilities expenses. So you automatically add this rule, make it apply, and then you save. So every time we're going to be uploading our bank statement, every time the bank's transactions are going to feed into the system will automatically classify anything that it sees in the bank statement as levies to our expense account, which we've set as utilities. So you do not have to assign that expense. Then we have the mapping setup. Mapping setup is the core of our foundation in terms of how we report within our Excel core, how you want to see your reporting in the system. This is where we're going to say in revenue, when we raise an invoice, can we allocate that to a revenue account? When you raise an expense, where do we allocate that? When we have a credit note, where do we allocate? So this is entirely the engine of our reporting that ensures that we report, or that ensures our reports are set right from the word go. So we'll be able to map for our clients. They tell us what products they have, and then we map accordingly. So if there's a sale that is happening from the account, or they're generating an invoice, automatically we'll be able to map that to, say, a sale account, and done. The beauty about our Excel core is once you've done this mapping once, they are not to be done every other time unless you introduce something different. We can map that, and for those who have the payroll module, the purchase module, or inventory, we can all map them so that once you pass the payroll entries, the system will recognize that there's insurance for that and post it in the correct account. So all that is done once we've mapped up completely. The account details allows us to open different accounts, allows us to create more accounts where we have accounts or we have additional accounts that we want to open. It's as simple that we have an expense account. We have an expense account in whatever category. So let's say we want to open an account in other income or in cost of sales or in expenses category. We can easily create that account. So depending on the nature of the client, the business of the client, and the activities or accounts that they want us to open, we'll be able to create those expense accordingly. That means we have in this Excel core allows us to align the reporting, the accounting with the business, so that we are not, the business is aligned in terms of reporting, and the reports they need to see, we can easily create for them. When we talk about played environment, we're talking about an environment where we can connect the bank statement to our Excel core, so that your bank directly, we have all your information, we have all your entries flow into our Excel core without manual intervention. So for banks that are normally connected on played environment, mostly that will be Equity Bank in Kenya, we are able to connect to live and ensure that your postings are done on a regular basis. You're just able to sync, all your transactions drop in, and then since you've already set banking rules, the transactions are posted to the various GLs without your intervention. To allow us to have income statements that is varied to different businesses, Excel core allows us to do modification of the income statements just to achieve different organizations' modifications the way they want to have their look. Therefore, we are able to add a separate modification and allow for that posting to be done via the system, or create for the institution from income statements and currency modification. So that is the element of our Excel core, and that is how it allows us to develop from that. We talk about Excel core having multiple currencies. Therefore, we can be able to have currency rates for the various currencies that we have. In the system, we have euros, we have South African rands, we have Kenya shillings, and we have GBP. So if we raise an invoice in any currency, the system will automatically use these rates to convert that to the base currency. So we're able to link up with an online automation and get in the currency. We can get the currency rate log. That means when an auditor asks what is the conversion rate you use for a certain period of time from one currency to years, from say from South African rands to maybe shillings, we are able to get to know what currency rate was used and share that with the auditor. So once these basic settings are done within our Excel core, once we've set up our settings, then we're able to look at the next. How do we build in our system? How do we ensure that our accounting system is well built in to achieve the needs of the business, to achieve the reports of the business and ensure the business perform? So from first, we have the banking, and this is where we have all the bank that we have. It is easy to create a bank account, as it suggests the button puts. As the button is, we create a bank account. So we can say whichever bank account, I can say First National Bank, and then create the account number of the particular bank account. If we are bringing in balances, for some of you, your accounts are already existing. So we are going to bring in balances, say, from the beginning of the month, where we have this opportunity to put in the balance. So the name of the bank is IXL, or the account number, the bank account, the number, and then the routing and the address of that. If there is some explanation, there are people who have different accounts for different purposes. And therefore, you can put the descriptions there, say, this bank account is only for paying rent, or this bank account is for only paying salaries, and then we create and save that. So as simple as that, we've created a bank account, and this bank account proceeds or drops on to the chart of accounts. Banking feeds is what we talked about when we talked about connecting your bank to the played environment. That means your transactions will be fully dropping in automatically, and this is where you will be finding your transactions once they come through. You can see First National Bank, which we've just created, is here as part of the bank. We had a bank before. So if we are not connected, or if we do not have connection to the bank, the system allows us to bring in the transactions through an import of transactions. So very easily we import in the banking transactions, and since we've already have the banking rules, we are able to have the transactions automatically posted into the system. Where there is no automatic rule, then we can be able to allocate those transactions on a manual basis. That is on the banking. So still on the accounting module, from the banking transactions, then we can have transactions. This is where we view all the transactions that are passed. So we can have the transactions that regards to sales, expenses, payroll and payslip, purchases, inventory, and every entry that has been passed to the system, we can be able to have or see the transactions. At this point, the system, depending on your rights, the system can allow us to correct the posting, can allow us to remap that transaction. Maybe it went to general sales and you want it to go to specific sale, we're able to edit that transaction and change the account that we want it to go. We can see the conversion rate at that period where the transaction was posted is shown. You can see the number of the invoice, how the payment was received, and then we have the payment account and the deposit account. So we can change the account here and then save. So within the rights, we can be able to correct the entries that need to be corrected and post it. But this gives you a rundown of all the transactions, and you can sift them or filter them from using our filter here, from which date to which date to see the transactions. So if you want to see transactions of a particular date, it is easy. You just want to come and pick the date of that particular transactions from, say, the 1st of the month to let's say, the 3rd of the month, you'll be able to see those transactions. And since we didn't have transactions there, that is where we don't have, but you're able to filter that. In terms of register, or how we allow the system, or the system allows us to have all the accounts that we have within the system. So from here, we're able to filter, we're able to see all the chart of accounts that are in the system. And if there is any chart of accounts or any account that we need to add, then we're able to do that shortly. I will demonstrate that in the chart of accounts. So for purposes of bills, is recording what we're spending out or what we are managing in terms of managing of payments that we are sending out from our bank account. So we can create bills, whether expenses, your utilities bills, and create from the add new bill and pay bill management on that. Although we've moved out from checks, the system still retains that because of its acceptability, Excel core acceptability in different regions and in different countries. Excel core allows us to have utilization in different countries, in different areas, and therefore we have different settings and different setups for different jurisdictions. So where, like in Kenya, where we've left utilization of checks, reprinting of checks, therefore this would not ideally be there or would not use that facility. But it is there for countries where we have still check being a core issue. And you can see when you're paying out checks, when you're issuing for that particular expenses, we can create from here. One of the things that we have is journal entries. So remember, there are transactions which are driven by our posting. So you want to raise a sale, the system will set it up automatically. It posts into the sale GL, your income GL, your receivables. Those are automatically done by the system. But there are those entries that are generated or are required to be posted on a monthly basis, but are not driven, or we drive those entries. For instance, when you want to post your depreciation entry, when you want to do amortization of your prepaid expenses, or you want to do amortization of your expenses, we are able to do those through journal entries. So journal entries allows us to create journal entries. We can create a journal entry, say, for depreciation. The beauty about our Excel core is that we can create recurring journals. That means you create this journal once and you want it to be posted every single month, say for infinity or for this year, because say depreciation for the next 12 months, from January to December, you want all the depreciation entry to be passed on a straight line. So you're able to create the accounts. I'll just pick any of the accounts and say we are going to debit it by the account is a debit by 1,000, and then add another account and say maybe I use a bank account and say we are doing that every single month. So this could be payment of rent or amortization of rent or whichever entry we want to pass for the period. Once you create this journal, and since it's recurring every month, for the next 12 months, this entry will be passed automatically by the system. You can have your description and say, this is amortization of rent or whatever entry that you're passing, and then you save that. So once you've created this recurring journal, you do not need to post that entry every other month. The system will automatically pass. So if you're doing your depreciation entries, amortization entries, we use the journal part. To transfer funds from one account to the other, you've seen like we have two bank accounts and you want to fund in one account to pay from one account. You have your salary account, but you want to use the operation account to fund the salary account. We can easily transfer funds from one account to the other using our Excel core. So all you just need to do is to add that, and you say you want to transfer funds from the main bank account to maybe the salary bank account. The date of the transfer was say 4th, and we transferred maybe 100,000 or 10,000 as it were. So this allows us to transfer funds between our internal accounts. Transfer funds, you want to transfer money from the bank to petty cash, it will allow us to transfer funds from that to petty cash. Now I'll move on to the chart of accounts, and chart of accounts is critical, and that's why we assist most of the businesses in setting up Excel core, because we understand that if the chart of accounts is not set right, then the reporting of the system and of the business is not right. So we are critical in terms of implementation of our Excel core to our clients. And that is something you need to tell our clients, that we do implement for them the system so that they have a ready full set package. All they need to do is to raise an invoice. All they need to do is to raise an expense, and they don't need to worry about the back end entries. But the system allows us to create chart of accounts as per the organization. We can easily add, or if there is an existing business, they already have their own chart of accounts, we can import their accounts, the chart of accounts into the system. It's simple to import. We have an Excel template. The system gives us a summary Excel template, which we download. We can download a sample template, fill in the accounts, upload it, and just like that, all our accounts are imported in the system. However, if we just want to add one account, the system also allows us to do that. We can easily come and say, you want to add one account. You have different account types. So say you want an other income account. You have the detailed account of that interest, whether it's on the interest, whether it's other income or other operating income. Is it a dividend income? So we can call this, say, other operating income. And once it's other operating income, we can call, say, whatever operating income we want to label that. We can say goods sold. We are allowed to have numbering within our Excel core, so you can have a number for all your GLs, or you cannot, or you don't need to have, so it's optional depending on what you want and the reporting nature of the business. If this account is linked to another core account or major account, then you're able to, so it's a sub account of another account. But if it's not, you can have descriptions there, and then you save. As easy as that, we've defined another chart of account, we've created a chart of accounts, we are able to link it to the business. That means we're able to fashion our reporting, our accounting as per the business. The accounts that are there, because the system comes with a chart of accounts, we are able to edit the account, the narration. We want to call it differently, then we're able to do so from the edit point of the system. So I'm able to edit account receivable, accrued liabilities, I'm able to edit all this information. As I move swiftly on the chart of accounts, then we have the reconciliation. So once we set up a chart of accounts, we are able to do reconciliation for those accounts. System allows us to do reconciliation. So you've uploaded your Excel sheet with bank transactions, or for the banks that are connected and transactions simply fall into the system or simply are updated during sync, we can be able to do reconciliation. Now, we're not only able to do reconciliation for the bank accounts, but we can also do reconciliations for accounts that require reconciliation, whether it's the equity balance, owner's equity. We can do a reconciliation for the movement of such accounts. But we're able to identify the accounts. So the system requires for us, when you come to open the chart of accounts, the system has, let me leave for that and identify that when we are opening a chart of accounts, at that point, the system would require to know if this account needs to be tracked for reconciliation purposes, so that we're able to track it on purposes of ensuring that we are able to do a reconciliation later on. So from here, we're able to update the bank, upload our bank balances, closing balance for this particular bank account. We are reconciling for which particular month. Is it the month of January? And we're able to put the period. And then the ending bank balance, opening was 0, and then we start reconciling from there. So once we bring in, if it's existing, if the account is existing, we're able to bring in balances from prior period and reconcile that. So meaning once I do my reconciliation, once I do my reconciliations account by account, I'm able to check all the accounts, I'm able to check the transactions one by one, if they're existing. You keep checking the accounts, the reconciliation keeps, and the difference keeps changing as we proceed in terms of reconciliation. Once you do that, you keep on recalculating, you keep on seeing the balances as we continue in our reconciliation process, the system and the balance, until the difference comes to 0. Once the difference comes to 0, our settlements is fully reconciled, we can be able to close that and finish that reconciliation, and easily finish this reconciliation once we have a difference of 0. If we are not yet at 0, automatically the system would ask you if we need to pass an adjustment. So sometimes you have the rounding numbers, you have the 10 cents, the 1 shilling. The system will pass adjustment entries for you and close that reconciliation for that period in time, and then it opens the reconciliation for the next period. As simple as that, we're able to do our reconciliations on basis for the system. So that allows us to do reconciliation on a monthly basis for the bank account by simply checking what needs to be checked for that particular month, and the system performing its role of ensuring that we do that. Once we've checked, click on the calculation of differences, and that is fully done for us by the accounting. So that is the reconciliation which is inbuilt within our Excel core. We're able to reconcile all your balances. Once you've reconciled all your bank balances, we're able to know that all the transactions for the month have been captured to the right accounts, and therefore we're able to close the month, present that final report. We also understand that there's need for us having budgets, and budgets are core in terms of where we were or what we want to achieve in a year. So we can set up budgets within our Excel core, and budgets can be done monthly, quarterly, and yearly. So we can set our income budgets on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis, and on a yearly basis. We can import the budget. So the system, and the beauty about our Excel core, every time there is an opportunity to import, we have a sample download file for us. So we don't have to guess. We don't have to guess of the columns that we need to have. The system allows us to download the sample. So if you want to do the monthly budget, all you just need to do is download the sample file, fill in the sample file, and then you upload. If you want to do a download for the quarter or for the year accordingly, you're able to download the file, put in data on your file, and upload that. So the system allows for that, and therefore you're able to upload your budgets, whether it's a quarterly and yearly or on a monthly basis. So finally, the core and why accounting is important and why we think the business, when we talk about our small businesses, it will be important for them is reporting. So all this aspect of posting in, all this aspect of putting in your invoices, raising your balances, is just at the end of the day that the business can have the reports to have an overview of what they see. So the first reports mainly are to do with business overview. You want to see how your business balance sheet is. You want to have a detail of your balance sheet. You want a summary of your balance sheet on a particular point in time. We can also have monthly reports. So you want to see monthly profit and loss for the last year, or from whichever period you want to see. The system will be able to generate that for you. So you'll be able to see on a monthly basis how is the business performing, and you can be able to change that to the, say, in 2025 of January, you can put in the year that you want, say to December 2025. Let me change to December 2025. December 31st, and then all accrue. Once you've done that, you're able to filter. Once you filter that, the business generates the reports in terms of your income, in terms of the revenue that was generated throughout the year, and you can see your profit and loss from a month-on-month perspective and the cumulative profit for the period. So that forms the core of why we have accounting. And why you're doing accounting as a business person is to understand and to get to see. So once we've done the configuration for you in terms of your GL mapping, your transaction mapping, once we've done all this, therefore, for you as a business person, makes it easy for you to come and see the accounting reports. Now, aside from the accounting reports, then we have the bookkeeping reports. So you have your auditor who wants to come and say, we want to do audit. We can be able to easily generate a trial balance for the auditor, generate a trial balance for the period, in whichever period, maybe it's from the first up to the end of the year, generate for them a trial balance which they can use to start preparing accounts. A trial balance can be filtered out for them to start generating the accounts. And from here, you can see we can print it out. We can export to PDF, export to Excel. Once you export to Excel, we can upload that to any financial preparation accounting module and then prepare the financial accounts from there. But you can export to PDF or we can export to Excel for ease of us using this report. So those can be done. We can, of course, see our reconciliation summaries, the reconciliation details that we've done. So if we've done our bank reconciliation, we can view the details of different of those reconciliations will appear here. There's no reconciliation we've done, so that's why that still is not there. But we'll be able to see all the reconciliations we've done and for the period we want to see. So there is quite a bit of reports, and the core of the reports and most of the business person is to see whether we are in the money or not. We've uploaded a budget, therefore we need to do the income comparison. Therefore, we can be able to do a budget versus actual on a month-to-month basis, knowing whether we are performing or we are out of budget, and seeing when we're discussing our strategy. Sales tax is key. I should, in terms of, are we able to get all our sales reports, all our sales tax, you're talking about your VAT, then we're able to get our detailed or our tax summary reports from here. This allows us to, of course, make our returns for purposes of our tax payments. This is tax collected on sales, on purchases, and everything. We have the reconciliation for us, and we're able to make the tax return. So that forms the basis of our sales tax. We have aging analysis, aging summary, aging details. We can also show how who owes us over 30 days, over 90 days, who has not paid us for 120 days. And for people who we owe, we can be able to see who we owe, a summary analysis of that. So that is now the basic or the core of why iExcel Core and why the Business Power Pack has the accounting module, which is fully configured to ensure that the business performs professionally. So once you've raised your professional invoice, once you've accounted for your expenses, once you've accounted for your purchases, then the other thing that filters to is to ensure that you get your professional reports to understand where the business is, to make your financial statements for submission of tax purposes, and for submission of whether you want to get funding, you're able to prepare your accounts accordingly. So that forms the core of the accounting module within iExcel Core, and how we are able to, as accountants or as business person, use the module. So the question begs is that once we have this system or core system, do we still need to have an accountant within the entity? Yes, we need to have the accountant within the entity to pass for us the journals, but from the configuration that we've seen, therefore the work the accountant will do will be much less than having a full-time accountant you're paying on a regular basis. So the entries that remain to be passed will be fewer than having a full-time accountant, or where you're not using iExcel Core as a system. So you're able to reduce your costs, invest more on the system, reduce your costs, and you'll be able to have a seamless operation going on. So at this juncture, I want to ask if there's any question about the accounting module. Anything that requires clarity or I need to talk about. All right, it seems we are okay with the module in terms of the accounting module. So that is the core, and that forms the basis of the accounting module. So why the affiliate trading is tied to having us the business power pack, that means we have the accounting module, the CRM module, and the marketing module. These are deliberate modules that we say, one, you get the business through the marketing campaigns, through your email campaigns, through your SMS campaigns. You bring in the leads, continue conversing with the leads, convert the leads to customers, bill the customers, transact with the customers, invoice the customers, and then at the end of the day, deliver reporting or generate reports for the clients. So I would want to return it to my colleague, Audrey, to finalize on the presentation if there's no other question on the system.
Thank you so much again for that presentation. It was very detailed. So these are, to our affiliates, these are the next steps. Once you've signed up an affiliate and what your customer will go through to start using the system. Once you've registered them in the system, you'll get an email with a link, with a registration link. Once they open that link, it opens to the Excelco workspace. From there, they can choose their package and subscribe, or they can start with a 14-day free trial. During that period, they can choose to subscribe and be a paying client, or they can choose to finish the trial and then subscribe. During this trial, they'll have access to all the modules that they've signed up for in their package. They can just go through the system and know how it works and see how it can well work for them. And after they have subscribed and started using the system fully, if they need any help during the trial or after they have subscribed, our team will be there to guide them, to help them with their maybe setting up. If they need help with their accounting, our system is ready and here to help. We also offer bookkeeping services to our clients, and that's all. That's all we offer. Thank you for listening, and hope you have a good day.
There is a question. I think, will there be a function that will allow direct request of an instruction to the system? In a place where an accountant can just type summarize payment from X for past 3 months and it's automatically prepared. That means when we have, because the system has the transactions module, the transactions within the accounting module, and under the transactions, we can be able to say transactions between what period or the narration of that transaction. So the system is able to sift up for narrations of that transaction for what period of time. So it is possible to get that and then print it out for your own utilizations. Yes, we're able to do that. Unless there's any other question, thank you very much, Audrey. We are thankful for your time. Remember, as an affiliate, there is the registration. Once you go to iexcelco.com, there is a affiliate registration, and the key for affiliate registration is you earn a lifetime commission for all the clients you bring in at the rate of 10%. So as long as the client remains subscribed, you get to earn 10% on the commission. Thank you very much and have a blessed day ahead.